Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
When you are away from someone you love them even more. For example, Roni, would you believe that your absence has made my heart grow fonder of you?
A change is as good as a rest.
A change in routine is often as refreshing as a break or a holiday. For example, my mom and dad moved to the countryside to start a new life in hopes that a change is as good as a rest.
A fool and his money are soon easily parted.
A foolish person usually spends money carelessly. For example, Sammy was cheated several times in his lifetime, since a fool and his money are easily parted.
A happy heart is better than a full purse.
Happiness is better than wealth. For example, as he says, a happy heart is better than a full purse.
A heavy purse gives to a light heart.
When you have money, you feel more cheerful and secure. For example, Sophie and Gordon are especially cheerful on payday, since a heavy purse makes a light heart.
A leopard cannot change its spots.
One cannot change one's essential nature. For example, a man with a temperament is unlikely to be a good leader in the household. Leopards cannot change their spots.
A barking dog seldom bite.
Those who make loud threats seldom carry them out. For example, Kevin hasn't finished his maths homework, and Ms. Puff will shout so loud they will hear her in the next town, but barking dogs seldom bite. It's just her way.
A penny saved is a penny earned.
It's important to save money. For example, Derry tries to do all the work himself, and always says that a penny saved is a penny earned.
A picture speaks 1,000 words.
Picture conveys its meaning or essence more effectively than a description does. For example, such a beautiful portrait of a little girl with her kitty represents how a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Actions speak louder than words.
What you do is more important than what you say. For example, Mr. Charles is such a good leader. He doesn't tell his team how things should be done, but he shows them. Actions speak louder than words.
All good things must come to an end.
Nothing lasts forever. For example, their romantic relationship was amazing, but all good things must come to an end.
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Eating healthy can help you stay healthy. For example, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And also an orange in the morning, definitely good for building healthy skin.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
It's better to prevent problems than to fix them. For example, Sandra is a very wise person. She keeps principle that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Everyone has their own ideas of what is beautiful. For example, Hannah shouldn't be afraid to say something to her mother, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Beggars can't be choosers.
When you need help, you can't be picky about how you get it. For example, this dress wasn't exactly what she would have picked for herself, but it was free anyway, and she is broke right now. So, beggars can't be choosers.
Birds of a feather flock together.
People who are similar tend to associate with each other. For example, everyone knew Katie and John would get along well, Seeing as they both enjoy science fiction so much, birds of a feather flock together.
Blood is thicker than water.
Family relationships are stronger than other relationships. For example, Brenda, can't you give your sister a job at your company? Blood is thicker than water.
Don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Don't make plans that depend on something good happening before you know that it has actually happened. For example, Lucy was preparing her speech before even being chosen. Then her mom warned her by saying, "Don't count your chickens before they're hatched."
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Don't risk everything on a single venture. For example, her mother knows Sally loves drawing. Then her mother says, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure to learn several other skills too."
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge someone or something by appearance alone. For example, I know he dresses a little frumpy, but don't judge a book by its cover, man.
Fortune favors the bold.
People who take risks are more likely to succeed. For example, Simon decided to ask out the most popular girl in school because fortune favors the bold.
Great talkers are little doers.
Most of the people who talk a lot and are always teaching others usually do not do much work. For example, I guess it's true that great talkers are little doers.
Haste makes waste.
If you rush, you are more likely to make mistakes. For example, Freddie doesn't want to rush to get Alan's car fixed because haste makes waste.
Home is where the heart is.
The place where you feel most at home is where you belong. For example, Celia doesn't really care where they move, so long as they're together. Home is where the heart is, after all.
Honesty is the best policy.
It's better to be honest than to lie. For example, Mother wants her son explain what happened, rather than trying to cover his tracks. Honesty is the best policy, after all.
Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Bad things might happen, so be prepared. For example, my aunt was hoping for the best, but was prepared for the worst at the time my uncle was going through some serious ailments.
Ignorance is bliss.
Sometimes it's better not to know everything. For example, sometimes I just decide to ignore the news. For a few days, ignorance is bliss.
Knowledge is power.
The more you know, the more powerful you can be in different areas of your life. For example, a successful life starts with a good education. After all, knowledge is power.
Laughter is the best medicine.
Humor can be good for your mental and physical health. For example, Ricky should be to spend some time with people he can joke around with. Laughter is the best medicine, after all.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get. For example, my old sister always said, "Life was like a box of chocolates. We never know what we're gonna get."
Love is blind.
If you love someone, you don't notice his or her faults. You think they are perfect. For example, many people don't like him at all, but she's crazy about him. Well, they say love is blind, don't they?
Money is the root of all evil.
Money is the cause of all problem. For example, although Max has intuitive business sense, he still believes that money is the root of all evil.
No man is an island.
You can't live completely independently. Everyone needs help from other people. For example, everyone knows he is a very proud man, but he needs to let other people help him if he is in trouble because no man is an island.
Practice makes perfect.
The more you practice something, the better you will become. For example, how come you're so good at peeling apple? I did it a lot in the army. You know, practice makes perfect.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Great things take time to accomplish. For example, I've been working on my thesis all day and only wrote 3 pages. Well, I know Rome wasn't built in a day.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Consistency is more important than speed. For example, Jane spent time sewing every day, and she worked steadily until she finally finished a beautiful scarf. Slow and steady wins the race.
The early bird catches the worm.
It's important to act quickly to seize opportunities. For example, we need to get to the store early. If we want to have the best selection, the early bird catches the worm.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
People tend to think that others have it better than they do. For example, my job is so tedious. I wish I had my own business. Like Beatrice does, I think the grass is always greener on the other side.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Trying to convince people with ideas and words is more effective than trying to force people to do what you want. For example, Jessica wants to become a journalist because she thinks the pen is mightier than the sword.
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
If too many persons are managing an activity, they can easily ruin it. For example, Jack is a little nervous because he has his boss, the assistant manager, a freelance consultant, and the head of IT. They got involved in the project, and it turned into a complete disaster. So he thinks too many cooks spoil the broth, after all.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
When visiting a foreign land, follow the customs of those who live in it. For example, Millie doesn't normally get relish on her hot dog. But that's the thing here. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.